Welcome back to the show. Alex, you mentioned being stunned by some seriously vibrant grasshoppers down in Florida. What made them so memorable?
Oh, absolutely. These lubber grasshoppers were like walking highlighters neon yellow, black, and red. I spotted them in December, which felt wild to me. Most insects vanish in the cold back home, but Florida's mild winters keep the bug scene alive year-round.
That's so different from what you'd see up north. I always thought insects just disappear in winter. Do colorful species like lubbers have any special reason for flaunting those hues even when it's chilly?
Great question. Their colors act as a big warning sign, kind of like a traffic light for birds. Don't eat me, I'm toxic. The warm Florida winters let them keep strutting their stuff, while other bugs go into hiding or vanish altogether.
Speaking of winter, you noticed insects thriving in Florida's December. How does that compare to places with cold, snowy winters?
It's a total contrast. In temperate zones, insects basically vanish after the first frost. But in subtropical spots like Florida, the action never really stops. You'll see grasshoppers, butterfly 7 mosquitoes active all year.
That must be a dream for bug enthusiasts, but maybe less so for mosquito-averse folks. Does the constant warmth affect insect life cycles in any unique ways?
Definitely. Without freezing temps to force a pause, many species can have more generations per year, which sometimes means bigger populations great for food chains, but it can also mean more crop pests.
Let's zoom out for a second. In places with harsh winters, it's like bugs just vanish overnight. Why do we still see deer, squirrels, and some birds, but almost no insects?
It's one of those everyday mysteries, right? Warm-blooded animals like deer and birds can generate their own heat, so they stay active. But insects are cold-blooded. They rely entirely on the environment. When it gets too cold, their bodies just can't function.
So it's not that they're less tough, they're just wired differently. Are there any exceptions, or is winter an absolute no-go for bugs?
Actually, there are some wild exceptions, which we'll get to soon. But for most insects, the cold is a deal breaker for normal activity.
I love analogies, so let's talk frogs. You once found a frog under a log in winter. What's going on there?
That was a mind-blower. I'd assumed frogs just disappeared. Turns out, they go into a state similar to hibernation called brumation, basically, a frog's version of hitting the snooze button for months. They bury themselves in mud to avoid freezing solid.
Do turtles and snakes do the same thing?
Exactly. Turtles hunker down in pond bottoms, and some snakes even gather in big underground piles like a reptile sleepover to stay warm. It's all about finding stable temperatures and waiting out the freeze.
So, if frogs and snakes can tough out the cold, what about insects? Can they hibernate too, or are they on a totally different game plan?
Insects have their own version called diapause. It's not full hibernation, but it's similar. Their development basically hits pause, and all their bodily processes slow down. Some hide under bark, in soil, or even in attics anywhere with a little warmth.
So, it's like putting their lives on airplane mode until spring?
Exactly. They're not completely off, just running on minimal power. This lets them survive until things warm up again.
But you mentioned some insects don't make it through winter at a like praying mantises. Why do some species just call it quits each year?
It's all about the life cycle. For mantises and many others, The adults die off with the cold, but they lay eggs in protective cases before winter hits. The eggs tough it out, often coated in antifreeze-like chemicals, and hatch in spring.
So, it's a next-generation insurance policy. Are there other common insects that follow this strategy?
Absolutely. Think of crickets, grasshoppers, and even some butterflies. It's a see-you-next-spring approach to survival kind of poetic, really.
Switching gears, let's talk about the insect world's ultimate snowbirds, monarch butterflies. Their migration is legendary, right?
Oh, for sure. Monarchs travel up to 0 miles from Canada and the northern U.S. all the way to Mexico. It's like running marathons back to back, but with wings. They instinctively seek out warmer climates to avoid freezing.
That's wild. How do they know where to get any GPS units?
Almost. They use cues from the sun, Earth's magnetic field, and even landmarks. Scientists are still unraveling the details, but it's one of nature's most impressive navigational feats.
Not all insects take the migration route. Ladybugs, for example, stick around, but in big groups. How does that communal living help them survive cold snaps?
It's classic strength in numbers. Ladybugs cluster in massive groups under bark, rocks, or even inside houses, sharing body heat and moisture. A study found that ladybug clusters can be up to 20 degrees warmer than outside air.
No wonder people find surprise ladybug parties in their attics. Are there risks to this approach?
Definitely. If they pick a spot that gets too warm, they might wake up early, burn energy, and starve before spring arrives. It's a delicate balance.
Let's get a bit nerdy. Some insects survive freezing temps with natural antifreeze. How does that work?
It's wild science. Certain insects produce proteins and sugars that lower the freezing point of their bodily fluids, like having built-in antifreeze. For example, the woolly bear caterpillar can survive being frozen solid for weeks thanks to these adaptations.
That's better than my car in January. Do other animals use similar tricks?
Yes. Some frogs and fish use comparable antifreeze proteins. It's convergent evolution at its coolest, literally.
To wrap up, it sounds like insects have an entire playbook for winter survival. Migration, egg-laying, hibernation, clustering, and chemical wizardry. Which tactic do you find most impressive?
I'm blown away by monarch migration. Flying thousands of miles with pinpoint accuracy is just next level. But honestly, every method is a clever solution to a tough seasonal puzzle.
Agreed, and it really makes you appreciate those quiet, snowy days, knowing there's a whole world of hidden bug drama happening out of sight. Any final thoughts for curious listeners?
Absolutely. Next time you spot a ladybug in your house or a butterfly in late fall, remember, you're witnessing the result of millions of years of inventive adaptation.